Welcome back to Spirit of the Outdoors. Another episode of Live from Mississippi. I can't believe y'all, we done pretty much consecutively 37 of these. Kind of blows my mind that we have done that many already. So, in the spirit of the building a teepee, I got my feather clamped back in my hair and know it don't mean anything. Somebody will ask what it's for. Just, I like it. See if I can get chat pulled up on the iPad. Gotta watch an ad first. See y'all, I get to watch ads too. Ain't no way around it. So how are all of you tonight? We're doing a little different on the cooking part of it. We are cooking. We are cooking on charcoal we made. But I'm cooking a Boston butt. So I didn't want to be midnight getting it done. So it is already on the grill. So I'll wait till a few more people get joined in, and we get up to about 50 people or so. I'll go over there and show the grill and let y'all see what we're cooking. Y'all have seen me do it before. It's basically the same thing we cooked over at Smith Lake, that one deal where I cooked the Boston butt out there. We let it go a little long over there. We had a lot bigger one. I usually buy a small one because it's just me and Michelle, and it's a lot cheaper to buy a small one. But over there we was cooking a lot bigger one, and we didn't factor a lot of that in. I just went to cooking it like I did. So good to see all of you. Vicky Harris asked, where's little man? He is at Michelle's mama's. Those kids that have been over there for about 2 weeks got home from youth camp today. They've been at church youth camp all week. He wanted to go play with them, and they are leaving Sunday, Monday, something like that. Michelle's sister came in from Texas today to get them, and then she's going to be here. We're going to throw Lissy, I guess, a little birthday party tomorrow. She turned 20 on the 10th, and she was at camp as well. So that's where Brody's over there with them, spending the last little bit of time with those girls and all before they go back. Mike Reed, good to see you tonight. How are you? Modern Outdoors ask, how is the teepee going? The teepee is stretched out behind me. We have it, all the panels pieced together. I cut the shape out of the bottom of it and cut that out and hemmed all of it. Y'all, the little Chinese sewing machine is actually doing a really good job. Is it for everybody? Probably not. My mama come up here and fooled with it just a little bit because she was curious about it. And she said, oh, I couldn't run that. She said, my arm would be wore out. So, you know, you got to keep into consideration you're cranking the whole time. So working your pieces is a little tricky. It took me all day to get what you see out there done. And I'll take the camera in a little bit and we'll walk over it and look. I'll show you what I've done, but I am filming it and documenting the whole thing, obviously. Yeah, I am dragging around Jeffrey on this teepee. It's a time-consuming thing sewing that by hand with a hand sewing machine, but I will say it's a whole lot better than hand stitching all of it. If I had to sit there with needle and thread and do, oh Lord. So hats off to all the Native Americans that sewed buffalo hides together to make a lodge to live in. Y'all do not understand the amount of work that went into what those folks did back in those days. I mean, I'm sure some of you do probably know. But it's coming along, y'all. I've run into some difficulties sewing that drop cloth. That drop cloth stretches really bad. So it takes a little more effort to sew it. If I was going to go in the business of sewing teepees for a living, and I was gonna do it in an off-grid situation, I would want one of those old Singers with the foot control power to run it. Would be the ideal thing. Now, if you're gonna plug it up and use power, obviously get you a nice sewing machine. I mean, that kind of goes without saying. But for the way I'm doing, I'm just gonna make one teepee, I guess. You know, once I get it put up and say, hey, I want to improve this, or I wished I'd have done that, and see how much work. It's a lot of time in it, but right now pottery is slow. I've been working on knives this week, and then working on this for the last 2 days, and I'm pleased with it for right now. So let's go look at the grill. We got a good many folks. I made coffee right here on this. So we are cooking on the homemade charcoal. Very hot. I'm not sure it's gonna last as long as the other charcoal. We'll see. But it got hot quick, so it's doing good for what it's doing. We got a Boston bud in there. And then, y'all, I sliced up some squash, seasoned them, eat them raw seasoned, and added a little extra salt on them. We got them going. I'll let this cook about an hour, get a good grill smoked flavor and all, and then I'll put the lid on it. I have the lid to this pot right here, this baker. Now, I've got 2 of these things. We've got a larger one that we use in the oven in the house, and then this one is mine that I bought at a yard sale for putting on this grill, because obviously Marie Laveau don't want me putting hers out here and smoking it up and turning it black. So, all right, and y'all answer me a question right now. Is the air conditioner running right there? Is that a problem? Is that like a lot of unnecessary racket? I know a lot of y'all may be watching on TVs with surround sound and all this stuff. I hate to cut that air conditioner off because it'll be hot in that house in a little while. But if it's a big problem, we'll cut it off. Now, I'm probably going to go get my Thermacell after a while if the mosquitoes get bad. And last night, the mosquitoes never bothered me. I sat out here and sewed right here at this table till probably 10:30. So let me show y'all what I sewed. So what we done, and the wind has done blowed or something has, this edge I hemmed over. Let me just set the camera down where that, I got a battery pack on there. Let me back it up. So I sewed these panels together. This hem right here, I sewed that all the way down. I got it all the way sewed together, and I had to steadily adjust this because I had to see myself. And we got through, one of the panels slid up like that by about this much. So I took the whole seam back apart down to this much and pinned it and started again, and it kept stretching and doing. There was no way, so I just run with it, sewed it. So I wound up with it staggered like this. When I did the other seam, it done the same thing. So what I done is I made sure I started on the same side both times so it'd be even. And when I cut my arc out, it cut both of those offset pieces off. So no problem. So what we got right here, y'all, from that corner right there all the way over here to this corner is 36 foot. As you arc around this curvature, I walked that off with a long 100-foot tape measure. That's right at 50 foot. It was like 6 inches shy of 50 foot, which is so. Let me go sit back down over here and get to my coffee, but y'all see where we at. And I will, at some point tonight, before the dew gets on it, I'm gonna drag it up here and wad it up on my table right here, because I wanted to leave it out there. I wanted y'all to be able to see it. I knew I was gonna get a lot of questions on it, and I wanted y'all to get a good look at it. So, all right, long as the AC over there running is not bothering nobody, we're gonna let it run, because it ain't bothered me either. Go in that house after a while, y'all. That vaulted ceiling, the way I did that in there, I've been intending to get me a fan, put in that attic to blow, well, in the vaulted part, because there's a wall that goes all the way up, and there's attic behind it where we store all our Christmas stuff. What if it ain't still in that bathroom back there? And I wanted to put me a fan up there to suck that heat into the attic, because my whole soffit all the way around that end down there is vented. And I think that would help with my heating and cooling, but right now, I ain't got that done. And y'all, when this heat gets up in there, it takes it forever to get out of there. So that air conditioner is working overtime. And yes, Huckleberry, it is supposed to hit 98 to 100 tomorrow here. I have not looked. Today has not been unbearable. Looking at the thermometer over there right now, we are on... we are at about 92 right now. So, yeah. Warm. Ain't that what Jim Carrey said when he climbed out of that rhinoceros? So on the TP, y'all, we're going to have to get started making polls at some point next week. I am not sure. I've got to do some more research. I'm not precisely sure off the top of my head how big I need to make my smoke flaps. I seen some dimensions, but they were relative to the size of TP that them people was building. And it's very rarely that I could find the actual measurements. So I need to find me I wish I could find me a book, and I know they make them, I just don't know which one to get, that's got patterns in it. And I'm talking about TP patterns, buckskin patterns, and I have got a book with some buckskin patterns in it, but hat patterns, there's not much for hat patterns out there to make stuff like that. A lot of stuff that people made, there's no actual patterns that I have in a book. Now, I'm sure they're out there somewhere. Somebody's got them. So if somebody knows what book's got all that kind of stuff in there, I'd love to have it. Terry said it's 101 there. It is hot. I do have the Foxfire books. I've got the whole set of them. And you know, I hadn't looked in there. Some stuff is in there. If it fits, it is. It is the temperature and the humidity is high. Really, today the humidity has not been god awful bad. I've been under this back here most of the day. I got a hide that I've been working on. Y'all, I destroyed a good deer hide this week. I don't know what happened. I think it was due to the heat. I put it in wood ashes to bucket, and when I started fleshing it, my knife started cutting holes in it. And I think I let it go 2 days in there. And I should not have, in this heat, it didn't take that long. It got a little soft, so I got about 3 more, though. I'm trying to get them out of my freezer is why I was fooling with it. I was going to film it, but after I cut holes in it, made them, I said, nah, I'll film the next one, so. Jason, did them books have the information you was looking for in it? Gable Reeves, I'll be honest with you, I'm ready for hunting season myself. I'm hoping. Uncle Sasquatch, Larry Alexander, I don't see a Tennessee Smoky. I'm just going back through seeing all these legendary people that show up pretty regular. But now we have got a good group of folks in here. There ain't no way I can go through and say everybody's name in there, because I know a lot of you. Thank y'all for joining in tonight. Picked a tomato yesterday. I have not got tomatoes yet. I am slow on tomatoes, but God, we are loaded down with squash and zucchinis. And I mentioned something about zucchinis the other day, and I think there was a bunch of people thought that I didn't like them at all. I love them sauteed and fried. I mean, there's certain ways. What I was saying wasn't good is that them noodles and that bread and stuff that you make out of zoos. People start trying to make all that kind of stuff because they got so many of them frazzling things. They don't know what to do with them. Sauteed on that black stone with some olive oil and stuff, or whatever kind of seasoning, they are fine. I love zucchinis, just cooked. I just don't like all that bread junk people try to make out of them to justify planting so many. Uncle Sasquatch said, tell you, hey, you want to turn around and wave at him? Roscoe, he ain't liking this heat either. He's been under my feet all day long. I don't think he feels good in this hot. He don't like the cold, and then again, he don't like his heat either. But now, while I've been sewing on this machine, he has been right out here with me. And now, I don't want a tongue bath right now. See, Jimmy Sullivan has made it in. Zucchini brownies. Tennessee Smokey, tell me about zucchini brownies. Charlie Phillips said, do I use any tick repellent? I personally do not. Bugs and ticks don't really bother me bad. Me and Mr. Jerry Hunt walked around here a couple weeks ago looking for some plants. He got some Spigelia marylandica and some something else we dug up. We was looking at skullcap, and what else did I send? Sent him home with a plum bush that I had dug up right out here, and something else we was looking for. But we were looking for some plants, identifying some plants, and when we got back to the house, I had one tick on me, and he said that he found 4 or 5 here, and I think he said the total was 7 or 8, may have been more than that. They are naturally more attracted to some people than others. It's hard for me to say what that is. Some people say if you take a lot of B12 prior to being into the woods, that helps. So it's something to do with the blood type. But now I do find a tick on me occasionally. But I put plantain on them when I do pull them off, put plantain on there, and they ain't really been a problem for me. But now it don't take but one tick to mess you up if it's got that Lyme disease. So, you got to use your own judgment on that stuff. Don't go traipsing around barefooted not using it just 'cause I do. I'm here to give safety police a fit. Can I ship knives in the mail? Yes, I ship knives all the time. And I'd love to have them cast iron pots and pans. I tell you what, you email me and at justinpeden@gmail.com. Send me some pictures of what cast iron you got. If you can't use them anymore, I will pay for the shipping for you to ship them to me. I can at least do that. Gable Reeves asked, how did the muzzleloader shoot? I have not fired it yet. I've been busy. I wanted to fire it, and I may fire it tomorrow, but I'm probably going to try to go fishing tomorrow. We got a half of mine to fry griddle for Lisa's birthday thing, and Michelle's daddy may cook. I don't know what we're going to do yet, but if we're cooking griddle, I'm going to go fishing tomorrow. And I'm going to fish hard. I'm going to catch a bunch of griddle, and I'm going to film it. But now I have to stop at some point and film just in time tomorrow. So, but I have not got to shoot the muzzle loader yet. I've had time. I've just been working on teepee in my time I had. And I know I go back and read past comments, and I skip around over over stuff. Vicky Harris, everyone please pray for my wife. Her cancer is back in her lung. Prayers. What is her name? Larry Alexander is here. Kyle is here. I have I have not been fishing in 2 weeks. I mean, not none at all. So I'm due a good fishing trip, and I have been, like I said, I've been working on knives. Y'all, I wanted to address something. I have shipped out some knives here recently. Those of you bought some knives. Some of the leather that I was using is the last leather I ordered was thin. So I ordered my leather come in today. I ordered it 2 days ago from Tandy Leather and got leather today. So I'm trying to make some knives. One thing I want to mention about that, y'all, I am not taking orders on knives. Don't try to send me money for a knife, no nothing. I'm gonna make some knives, and if I know somebody's really wanting a knife, I mean, and I make one, I'll try to contact them and get it to them. But as far as getting on a list, they are hit or miss because, and the reason I'm not taking orders is it gets overwhelming for me. Last year I took orders, and it's nothing against y'all, but mentally, when I realized that I got 29, and I'll have 20 to 30 in no time, y'all, I promise you. I've got people emailing me, I mean, all kind of people emailing wanting knives. And I want everybody to have a knife, but I can't make but so many, and I want to go fishing, and so that's why I'm not taking orders. Is I know people's really wanting them, I make them and try to contact them people. So I don't mind you emailing me and saying, hey, I would like to have one, but as far as me taking orders and saying, okay, you in line, I can't, there's no way I can do that. I got people, and one thing, I'm going to be honest with y'all, I can't keep up with who's got what and who, I mean, at this point, there's 30,000 people signed up nearly for this channel, and about 2,000 that watch actively, and there's a lot. I get lost, y'all. My mind ain't that sharp. I do good to do everything I do and get it done. So anyway, yeah, we going fishing tomorrow. Right now, I can come by and take you fishing. Kyle's wanting to go fishing. Kyle said he got on the list for a knife and waited so long that when the guy messaged him about it, he had no idea what he was talking about. I figure that's how I wind up. And I tell you, that's the thing with me. I hate for somebody to say, hey, I'm waiting on a knife, and I tell them, yeah, I'll build you a knife. And it's 6 months later when I say, hey, I'm to you now. Last year when I took orders, I know there was 3 or 4 people that by the time I made their knife, I don't, their mind had changed, which was okay with me. I didn't have no problem getting rid of the knife. But forgot to email about the dog book. Don't know nothing about a dog book. You mean the Pierce in the Darkness, them spiritual books? Or the plant book? You was wanting that plant book, Jennifer, wouldn't you? No, email me. I can get you the PDF to that easily tonight, sometime when I get off of here. Poverty Hill, Brian, I don't know yet what I'm going to use. I have an abundance of sweet gum. Sweet gum is a good, stout, strong hardwood. The problem with it is it's a little bit heavy. Especially now that I'm going to have to make 20-foot poles for this. The canvas is 15 foot. I need 18 foot to where they cross. And I want some past that, so I'm gonna probably make 20-foot poles, and tie them together at 18 foot and then wrap the canvas around. And I'll have to put it up and I'm sure adjust some stuff. So I wanted to just use our pine. My problem is I don't have the right size pine growing on my property. There's pines in this area, but I had to get on somebody else's property. And we talked about bamboo. Bamboo would probably be the way to go. I don't know how strong bamboo is once it is dried as far as holding up this big of a teepee. Probably it's fine. Once you get it bigger than baseball size, I figure it will work wonderfully, and that may be the best route to go, so I really have not made a decision. Yeah, Uncle Sasquatch, he said the last knife he made to sell, the guy that wanted it still has not arranged to get it. It's been 6 weeks. You post it for sale again, Uncle Sasquatch, and then if it says, oh, you sold my knife, say, man, I'm sorry about it, and go on, because when you making stuff and trying to sell it and make money off of it, you can't cater to people. I mean, I would like to, but you can't, because, well, everybody else is like me. I'm forgetful, I may tell something I want. And then situations in life happen. People ain't got the money they thought they had. So, I struggle to have that's why I don't go buying a lot of stuff. I can't afford the knives I make. I ain't gonna lie to you. I can't afford the pottery I make. I get to keep a broke piece of pottery alone. I finally got 4 matching plates to eat out of our pottery. And I literally had to write my name on the bottom of them down there when I made them, and they like to never got glazed because she knew they was for me. So, Diana, you keep unsubscribing from me. Y'all, you had to check that stuff. I don't know, YouTube's got some funny things going on. Without forging, Daniel, you need to find the Tenryu. I don't even know how you say it. It's Tenryu Tenryu blades that are a big chop saw. If you know anybody that's got a shop cutting metal tubing and they are using these Tenryu blades, now they are some Irwin blades that are a lot cheaper that are not as good. I have made a knife out of them because we ran some and they don't hold up as well. All blades are not equal. I ain't gonna sit here and say that Tenryu is the only one that is like this, because I'm sure there are some other companies that make good saw blades out of good steel, but those Tenryu blades that my dad orders from the welding shop to cut metal tubing with, I looked them up and did the research on them and tested them, and they are at a 62 Rockwell. Give or take a Rockwell, probably. I'm sure everything ain't just precise, but they make them so that they don't flex very much while cutting tubing. Because what'll happen, those cheaper blades, as you cut and they'll flex, and your cuts will be angled a little. So these are about $120 saw blade. They have the carbide teeth on them. Now somebody was telling me the ones that don't have the carbide teeth, better blades. Quite possibly, I don't know, but the ones I'm using, and I have a stack of them and can get them, are perfect. So I'm not looking for a different blade. So if you can find those, I know those work. Now I don't know about those big wide band saw blades that come out of the sawmills. Somebody said they work good. I have not fooled with them. David Russian says the bamboo will work and it's strong, but it won't last. And I can agree with that. I have seen a lot of bamboo split. I don't know if it's because it's hollow and it gets moisture in there. But I know a lot of it has split. I'm reading back through comments, y'all. So, um, anyway, I talking about the TP poles. I'm probably gonna peel and use sweet gum simply because I have that on my own property, and it's like these big pine trees I built this out of. I use it because it's mine. It's on my own resource. I ain't got to go big. I hate borrowing and begging. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. And I know people think that's what I do on here. Want people to send me stuff. That's why it made me so aggravated. I am completely opposite of that. I don't like to borrow. If I need something, I'd rather go buy it. If I need it, if it's just one thing and I can rent it or something, I'm going to just need it one time. But generally, most things, you're going to need it more than once, and I don't like going and begging somebody else for something. I'd rather buy my own, make my own, whatever. Mike Reeves, good to have you. Father's Day is this weekend, isn't it, y'all? I need to go tomorrow at some point and do some Father's Day shopping. Have not done. Usually I make everybody a coffee cup, but both of my fathers have done got plenty of coffee cups. Mr. Charlie Pickerel has shown up. It won't be long. It'll be a party him. So anyway, y'all, the TP project though, I'm having fun doing it because it is different, and I put that tarp one up down there and loved it. Loved having. I mean, the whole idea of a TP, but it didn't draft smoke right. I tried. I dug holes under it. I done all kind of stuff to try to make it draft. And without it having that air gap all the way around the bottom of about 3 to 6 inches where it can pull air under, it just simply ain't gonna draft smoke. I mean, it's just a simple fact. Now, if you put a wood heater in there with a 3 or 4 foot smokestack going up, then you can get it to up high enough it may pull it out. But I wanted a fire pit. And this one, I may wind up putting a wood stove in this one eventually, because we have a pot-bellied stove that is not being used. It is in the way in the skinning shed, and I may get it and put me a short piece of pipe going up, because it will run you out of house and home, and it would be a lot safer as far as the smoke and carbon and all that stuff, and not catching us on fire and such as that this winter, because I plan to erect this TP right over here so that we can come out here and spend the night in it. I want to film videos in it. I really would like to, I want to make a bow. I've got another stave down there that I want to make a bow. I don't know how much time I got on it, because I want to get the TP complete and done and set up, and I want to get the muzzle loader shooting, tuned up, and have some of those things guaranteed that is sealed before I endeavor into something else. Because I do have a recurve bow that I can shoot, and a compound push come to shove. So anyway, the little sewing machine though has made it dandy, and I want to get some thinner hides. I can do a lot of sewing projects out of leather. So some of my furs I've got several fox hides. It's of questionable quality. The hair slipped in a spot or two. I wasn't as good at tanning in those days, and I really ain't that good at it now. I know how to do it, but the heat gives me fits here, y'all. It gets cold and then it warms up, and all that stuff makes a big factor in tanning a hide. If you do it inside in a controlled climate, you do a lot better, and I don't never do that. Mike Reeves said, how does it drop the smoke without letting the rain in? So on a TP, you raise the bottom of that TP, that curved edge that you see, the half moon side will be the bottom. When you put it on the poles, you leave about this much space between it and the ground so it can pull air in under it. and it's on a shape that when it rains, naturally the rain's gonna follow that down. It may soak it and get sopping wet inside and out, but the rain is supposed to down to the outside where you set it on the crest of a hill so water runs away from it. You don't want water will run under it. If it's on the downhill side and water runs that way, water will run right under your teepee. Um, So what it does in the wintertime, you go and put a liner around there, and you take a rope and run it around the inside, wrapping each pole, and then you can tie your liner to it, 3-4 foot high inside there, and it goes all the way to the ground. So then the heat and smoke, as it drafts up, you got an opening at the top. You have a big hole in it, and that smoke will come out of there. So that is the way it works. Once it gets smoking, it'll start the heat in there to start drafting. So, yeah, riding it Dunaway. I think Friday Night Live in the teepee, especially with a fire going in it and a fire pit, would be an awesome thing. And that is the reason, y'all, I wanted to make one so big. 15-foot floor pan of floor space diameter is a huge inside of a teepee, but time you set a camera and a tripod up and you trying to put your cot over there, and maybe I want to put a chair in there, and I don't know how I'm going to set it up. I'm really not going to try to go in there and be like primitive and put buffalo robes down to sleep on. So there'll be blankets and modern conveniences on the inside of it, obviously. I try to blend Native American culture with modern day culture and combine the two, and use what is practical in their mindset, but our resources. Thus, I ain't using buffalo hides, I'm using canvas. So hopefully it'll draft and work right and be big enough that we can get out there and film videos in it. So that is why I want it big enough. I can set cameras and all that up and have room to film, because in that little one down there, it was dark in there. You couldn't see in it, and it wasn't big enough. Time you set a camera over there, you couldn't see nothing that was going on. So the sewing machine, my buddy Tony Parker brought this up here. He had bought it, and he makes some knives. He has Tortuga Forge. He makes the hose and stuff that I use some. And he come gifted me that. And the reason is the knives that he makes, he uses all 7/8 ounce. And time you sew through 3 pieces of that, your top and bottom layer of leather and the welt, you got a big thick piece of leather. Well, that machine, the gallop is too thick and it's hard for it to punch through all of that. I'm using 4 or 5 ounce and a thinner welt, and I had no problem. The next thing is I'm going to, hopefully at some point, maybe I can learn to bark tan. I'm probably, though, going to try to order some buckskins that are professionally tanned and make me some clothes and stuff like that, and I'll use that to do it. And that is what he gifted it to me for, was to make some of that stuff, and it really wasn't ideal for what he was doing. But now I've learned a lot about it. By the time I got through sewing this teepee, I learned that I didn't have my bobbin set up right. I did not have the tension on the thread all right. I finally figured most of it out. I don't know that I still have everything just right. But for those of you that have no idea what we're talking about, it's this little hand crank sewing machine, and it works. I mean, it works really good. And you set this, I had to modify this. All it has got is this piece of a bolt sticking up. So I took a jar lid and put it down over the top, and then I got an ink pen and pulled the guts out of the ink pen and stuck it on there, and then my thread will sit right on there. So it works good, really. But like I said earlier, is it for everybody? probably not. I mean, there's a lot of sitting there doing this and then trying to guide your stuff with one hand. So, like with this, it would have been ideal to have been feeding that with both hands because that canvas stretches a lot. But I'm considering about painting the thing and sealing it. I went ahead and bought a gallon of mineral spirits. I'm probably going to buy several tubes of silicone and mix them up in a bucket and spray it right out here on the ground like this to seal it. Because I don't think I can hang it up nowhere. It'll be 15 foot high trying to do it. So we'll see how all of that works. My buddy lived in his teepee for 3 years with his wife after the house burnt down. You know, that is one of the reasons I am building this. A couple of things. If in the future push come to shove and say government runs us all off our place because we can't pay the taxes, this is the ideal thing to move around. I can put them poles in my boat, haul it camping to the river, and possibly erect this thing at a campground. I mean, there's just a lot that you could do with it as far as camping, living in it, especially hunting camps. And my reason is the ultimate hot tent. You know, last year everybody went crazy on YouTube as everybody's filming videos on hot tents. The flies, y'all are getting horrible out here. And the hot tent is really a teepee with a, so if you can build fire in something in the cool weather, it gets cold here. I know people say, oh, it's too hot in Mississippi, it don't get cold down here. The winter gets cold here. It don't stay cold very long is the difference. It gets down in the teens at times. So if you were camping somewhere and had this teepee and you could put a stove in it or build a big old fire and keep it going all night, you know, I mean, how can you beat that? So it'd be a whole lot better than hammock camping, a whole lot better than tarp camping. I mean, it's got all of that beat, especially for multiple people. Now, me backpacking into somewhere or just one overnighter, I'm probably not going to fool with it. I'm still going to string a hammock up or pin a tarp to ground. I mean, there's a lot of more practical solutions, but like if Michelle wants to go with us, and we have thought about going to the mountains and camp in the mountains, and I don't know about carrying 20-foot poles is my dilemma. I may have to make a special trailer for it, but as far as going to Tombigbee River and setting it up there, I can put the poles in the boat and haul it. So the next thing is I would really love to go to some rendezvous. I have never been to a mountain man rendezvous. I'm not going to engage in competition and stuff. I would just like to be there and cook or work for myself and just see what it's all about, see what's going on and meet people. So I may do that in the future, and that would be what I would take and erect and be my camp for the weekend. Matt, these t-shirts are on the Etsy store. I link them in most all of my videos. So they're on there. People are buying them there. How high will your dad's tractor bucket raise? It goes up to about 9 or 10 foot, give or take, something like that. I'm not exactly sure. Thompson's water seal. I'm going to attempt to mix silicone and mineral spirits. I did a bed sheet, and here's my reason. It dries and is not sticky or oily. I have done a bed sheet in boiled linseed oil with beeswax, and and turpentine to thin it. You can use a couple other products to thin it that don't smell so strong, but that didn't matter to me. And it got really, really heavy. I did the bed sheet in the mineral spirits or paint thinner and silicone, and it was absolutely waterproof and very, very light, and it held up. So I figured that is my cheapest option. Now, somebody sent me a picture of some stuff for $40 that would seal. I'm sure it would probably work good, and I thought about Thompson's Water Seal, but it has a film to it, and I packing it up, and I don't know. I ain't sure that's what I want to do. My daddy has got Thompson's Water Seal. He sprayed the cabin with over there. We don't have any rendezvous around here, so I don't know. I'm gonna find out. I know Randall Ross told me that they have them over there around North Georgia, and there's some in Tennessee. Most of them are out west. Obviously, there's Friendship, Indiana. They have a big thing up there and all, but we'll find out. Mike Reeves said, "How long will it take to get it stood up?" I have no idea. We'll just have to see. I have watched some videos on it. Most people say give or take 45 minutes to an hour or so. And the more you do it, you can get better at it and cut some corners. So I'm sure my first time erecting it's going to take a couple of hours. That's what I'm figuring. Randy, I'm gonna attempt to spray this on there. Rolling it is a good option, but we've got one of those sprayers, and what it is not a paint gun. It is a air blower with a trigger on it that's got a siphon hose that comes off of it, and that's what my dad sprayed Thompson's Water Seal on this cabin that he built with, and that's what I'm gonna use and spray it with it. So that's going to be my first attempt. I don't know that is the ideal thing, but we're going. And I have not tried to figure out yet what I'm going to paint it with. Spray paint with a stencil is not a bad idea, so I may spray paint a lot of it. I do know that I want to. I'm thinking I want to put a band of red around the bottom and do the humps. A lot of the natives in North Dakota and the plains up there for the Black Hills did a black band with black humps all the way around it to represent the Black Hills. Well, here we have red dirt hills, flies everywhere. So I'm thinking about showing that, representing that, and then I'll definitely paint my logo. I've got a stencil for my logo, but y'all, it is not much bigger than this shirt, and on the face of a 15-foot teepee is going to dwarf it. So I may try to get a projector. I don't know. We're gonna see. I'll definitely probably be hand painting some design, different things on there, but I'm not gonna get real elaborate and do no lot of painting. I may paint around a zigzag line around the top just to give it a native look. I want to put Brody's handprint, Lisa's handprints, and possibly mine in a couple of places. And I may start a tradition of putting deer as I kill them or something like that, you know, just as some way of keeping a tally on stuff. I don't know. And it won't be probably every deer. Something like if I do the ones I kill with a muzzle loader, or, you know, I don't know. Something that would be practical and fit what we're doing here. So Zach said, what is your go-to bowfin bait? For me, I go to a brush hog, but now cut bait is the king. Cut bait with a cork is what you catch bowfin with. Jimmy Sullivan, thank you. That might be what I need to do. They have a quart-sized can of silicone. That is probably because I was figuring I was going to have to buy tubes and squeeze them into a bucket. So I don't know. Yeah, Jason, something like that, where I kill them with a bow, especially if I can kill them with a bow I made. Let me reload my coffee cup. I tell you what I better do. We better check on our groceries. Oh, y'all, come on. These probably need to come off. Squash. Oh. Oh, that's good. A little mushy. Keep that warm right up there since that's on. Oh! See if this is still hot. Not really. Got grounds in it. Oh, well, well, well. Jeffrey, I think his grandson or somebody is running that, or either it may have sold to somebody else, but Michael Edwards said, do you like eating those bowfin? Bowfin is my number one eating fish. It is the best fish, better than catfish. It's better than crappie. That's how much I like it. Oh, and I am not exaggerating. And not only am I just saying that because I like to eat them, that is why I like to fish for them so much, is because they're so good. And my whole family loves them. Everybody that has come here that has eat Grinnell, that I've never had somebody eat it and say, well, I don't like it. It's all in the handling of this fish. Keep him alive till you get home, and then you clean him and immediately go to cooking him, and you won't have a problem. If you leave him dead in a cooler all day, he ain't gonna be no good. If you kill him, and if you clean him and say, well, I'm gonna cook him tomorrow, it ain't gonna be no good. I mean, there's just, Grinnell's one of them things, when you bring him home, you put him in a barrel and keep him alive till you ready to cook him. And then you clean him and go to cooking. That's just the only way. Oh, Stephanie, I can't do iced coffee. My daughter likes it. Hot coffee cools me off. It does something to my body. I can drink hot coffee out here in this heat and I'm cooler. I feel cooler. Don't ask me what the science is. It's like the water jug in the fruit trees, y'all. I got plums running out my ears. And ain't nobody else around here got very many plums. I got a tree out yonder I didn't put no water jug in. It ain't got no plums. The water jug trick worked. What's the science behind it? I don't know. I can't sit here and tell you why it works. Chance, they should be some, put them in the cooler. Maybe they, I don't know if they put them in the cooler, maybe eat them raw stickers. I'll have to look. The eat 'em raw sticker that's on that Yeti right over there, Nikki, J.R. Willis, Nikki Willis, she made that one for me. Jeffrey has answered it, y'all. He said, your body goes into defense mode. Your body is hot, so it's cooling itself, just like taking a hot shower. So that makes sense if you don't think about it. Stick figures probably ain't a bad idea. We'll figure something out though on doing that stuff. Tactical Owl. I took a milk jug, and y'all, if you've watched my videos very long, you've seen chicken waters. I basically take a milk jug and cut in front of the handle behind the lid down to where it tapers, and then I cut around it so it makes a good dipper. It's still got the handle. I dipped it up about half full of water and just tied it on a limb and hung it in them fruit trees when it frosted. And that's all I know. Oh, David, if I painted my life story on that TP, there wouldn't be a white spot left on it. There's been a lot of hills, ups and downs in my life. I'll tell y'all, though, I am right now at 42 years old. I'll be 43 next week. I'm living the best life I have ever lived. I mean, no exaggeration. I am happier right now than I have ever been, by far. More peace, joy, just true living. I worked hard to get everything I own paid for. I didn't buy more junk than I needed. I mean, I bought some junk I didn't need. I've made some mistakes, but I built my own house, paid for it as I went. It is not fancy. I used a lot of reclaimed stuff. I didn't try to build it to impress people. I built what I could build, how I could build it with what I could build with. And it looks good. It's what I wanted. It's rustic. I don't like perfect fit stuff and crown molding and elegance and fancy looking stuff. That ain't me. That don't fit my style. But I did everything myself, and I've learned that learning how to do stuff is more valuable than having a good job making plenty of money. Because it's like this teepee out there. Most people said, I want a teepee. How much is one? Well, they about $1,200. Well, I'm going to order one, and hey, it'll be here next week. But this means more to me because I'm going to build it. I can tell you the story behind it. I can tell you, there's a satisfaction about it. So, I'm living the life that I wouldn't trade with nobody. I know people, it's like Hank Jr. said in that song, Montana Cafe. He said, I know a lot of people in a lot of places. They make a lot of money, but they got sad faces. And that's the truth. Money ain't happy. Money don't buy happiness. I done found that out. Larry, I have not seen squirrels in the corn yet, but it is just now starting to silk and put corn on. They have not found it yet. It's coming, trust me. Man, these flies, y'all, drive me nuts. They'll be in here, no doubt. Ed, I'm with you. I like a place to live, not something to impress other people with. Jeffrey, there was a time in my life where I was making good money for here now, being at home. I wasn't loaded with money, but to live in this area, at one time I was making about $1,100, $1,200 a week at home every night and here. And that's hard to do here. And I learned a valuable lesson. It don't matter how much money you make, you'll still live off what you make. You'll still live check to check because you'll buy stuff you don't need. Fortunately for me, I learned it pretty fast and I paid off. I paid my bills and paid off stuff. But now, y'all, I drank up a lot of money. When I was making decent money, I was drinking like a fish. And I drank up a lot of my extra money. I mean, are we talking $100, $200 a week, at least? And then that don't count the cigarettes and tobacco and all that stuff I was consuming. And when you cut all of that out, you save yourself a lot of money. But, I wasn't happy then either. I didn't have no peace. I was miserable. I was trying to kill pain. And the peace and the joy comes from the Lord. And that's all you can say about that. And it's... I don't really know how to explain it other than it's just, that's how it is. Rodney Dunaway fried squirrel and corn on the cob. I've done that. Cooked squirrel in corn. No hogs, Larry. We mowed down that wheat and oats that was back there, and they ain't come back. So I know where they at. What they're doing is it's dry right now, and they're hanging close to that creek down there. They not venturing up here. It was raining when they were coming up here. It stopped raining, and they not leaving that swamp where it's wet down there, really. Michigan Prepper has made it. Uncle Sasquatch got to put his bird to sleep. All right, well, y'all, give me a minute. I got to check on this meat, and I need to get them squash off, and I've got to pour some liquid of some kind back into that meat because that lid don't seal good, and it's cooking the moisture out. And I may just add a little bit of water to it, but I gotta take care of that. So, did y'all get seasick in the process? Let me go get a plate. I like to grab it with my bare hand. I thought about it, but then I thought better of it too. So y'all, that charcoal is forevermore cooking in there. Let me add a little more dill. And then I'm going to put a little bit of water in there because the water is what's cooking out of it, obviously. Whatever your seasoning's made out of that's a liquid and it dries up, well, all the stuff that you need is still there. You just need to rehydrate it. So thus the water and not too much oil. Y'all didn't know I knew all that, did you? Oh, now I need, there's my knife. I've been without my knife the whole time. I wonder if Joey Martin is watching. He'll watch this before it's over with. So I'll use them tomes he sent. He sent me a box of stuff, y'all. Really nice of him. And I have got some good use out of it. Well, I dropped one. Y'all see that? And Roscoe wasn't even over here to beat me to it. It's too hot to eat right now. Now, y'all, I can't handle them flies. I mean, they flying, they horrible. Horrible, so. You have to cover everything up with a rag, because if a fly gets on it, I'm through with it. Ain't happening. Alright, we're going to let that cook a little while. That's good stuff right there. I mix it with Italian dressings. What's in the bottom of that? Wipe that little bit of stuff off, because I'm going to put this right on back in this box. Because I don't want flies crawling all over it either. Alright. We good, I think, now. Spin y'all back around. Oh, like a carnival ride. Yep, like a carnival ride. I get my britches legs pulled up. I can't stand my britches legs. Somebody made fun of my skinny jeans in one video and I blocked them, but I said, well, I ain't trying to wear skinny jeans. I don't like, so I bought me, the other day when I was in there, they had boot cut in there, and I was like, well, I need a pair of, I'd rather have the boot cut, I thought. I wore them boot cut jeans the other day out here barefooted. Well, actually, I had my moccasins on for a while. Well, not moccasins, a church shoes is what I call them. And man, I was steadily pulling them things up. I can't stand for them to get down under the back of my foot. Me walking on my britches, the heck with that. If you wear big old clunking boots, you know, look like a pilgrim clodhoppers, there ain't no problem, but I don't like them big old flopping shoes. And not to mention, if you're going to tuck them down in your rubber boots, you got all that material wadded up down in them rubber boots. I don't know, they just have to make fun of me and my skinny jeans, all I say, because I ain't buying them big floppy leg britches no more. I just can't deal with it. Jeffrey, you'll have to come out here and hang out with me. We'll get happy out here. We'll go fishing. That's when I'm happy. I actually, sitting here working on this teepee, I have been really happy. I put my book on over there through that big Peavey speaker. And I mean, he is talking loud to me about that book. I've sat right here and sewed all day and been just as happy as a lark. Broke is a joke. We ain't got no pottery orders. And well, I can make knives and make some money. That's why I'm making knives right now, is because we ain't got no pottery orders, which I'm okay with. I can sell all the knives I can make. But Michelle, I was sitting here, I was laying in this hammock this morning. She come right there and brought my breakfast and handed it to me. Me laying in that hammock with a book and a coffee. And I told her, I said, I'm as happy as I've ever been. She said, yeah, but we broke. I said, I don't care, I'm happy. I said, I'd rather be broke and happy than have money about to be up headed to work somewhere. But it ain't for everybody. Everybody can't handle being broke either. It stresses some people out too bad. So, yep, Smokey, you're right. You can't serve two masters. And the Bible says that it's easier to put a camel through the eye of the needle than for a rich man to enter into heaven. And I didn't understand that at first. The eye of the needle is a real narrow door in some of those places over there overseas in Arabian, we'll call it, countries. I don't know right where they at. And those camels, to go through that door, would have to take all of the extra stuff off of them that they're packing, and just the camel itself would squeeze through that door and rub the sides of it. And that's why they said it'd be easier to put a camel through the eye of the needle, because you had to stop and unload everything off of that camel and pull it through there, tote all the stuff through there, and then put it back on the camel to get through the gate of that city. And that was called the eye of the needle. So why it was like that, I don't know, but I seen a picture of this is why I believe, instead of just hearing somebody tell me that, there was a picture of one of them doors over there. And it made sense then, but nowhere in the Bible, Jesus talked about being a good steward. He talked about not wasting your resources, your money, what you make, not squandering it. But nowhere does Jesus want us or teach saving up money for the future so that money can solve all our problems. I hear people preach that, but save up the storehouse, and you're fooling yourself into thinking that's what Jesus was teaching. Because when you save up a bunch of money in the savings account so that if something goes wrong, my washing machine breaks down, or so this happens, I can buy a new. Well, you're putting your trust in that money and not in God. And it's a hard thing to learn to really trust God. And once you really learn to trust God, that's where this peace I have comes in. You don't have it till then. And it's took me, y'all, the last 4 or 5 years to learn that. And it's from every time I needed something, God provided it. I'd be like, God, I don't know how I'm going to figure this. I don't know how I'm going to get through this. I walk these trails back here and pray. But it does two things for you. Living the life I'm living as I live it. You're going to go out there and you're going to pray and talk to the Lord and go, now, Lord, we ain't got no work. I need you to, I've had places to preach. I've had knives to sell. Money has come in. The Lord has took care of things. My light bill ain't cost as much as it's been cost. I mean, God, I don't care how you handle it. I'm just telling you this is what my situation is, and I trust you because you ain't never let me down. I've had some medical issues come up with me in the last few weeks, and I've had people say, hey, you need to go to the doctor. I'd go get that checked. I'd go, and I said, no. Lord will take care of it. If he pulls my number and it's time for me to go home, I'll go. If not, he's got a lot for me to do here. It's up to him. I say, Lord, I don't want to die. I want you to heal this, but I'm putting it in your hands, and I want you to, and that trust is from, I preached this last weekend about a testimony. And your testimony, you are the proof of God's existence. And your testimony, the Bible says in Revelations 12 that they were made overcomers by the power of the blood of the Lamb. You got to have the blood of Jesus Christ to save you. You can't be saved without God's blood. God saved us. End of story. But we're made overcomers, said also by the word of their testimony that they made it to here. And the word of our testimony is we look back and say, God brought me through that. He'll take me through this too. And that's where the power of the testimony is. I don't know how I'm going to make it through what I'm facing, but he brought me through that back there, and that was bad, so this ain't nothing for him. He'll take me through, and I trust him. And when you learn to trust him, it gets easier and easier and easier, and there's more and more peace, because the devil will throw stuff at you, and you go, well, this life is temporary anyway. I ain't worried about it, and God will take care of it. That's what he wants, is you to really trust him. So anyway, I didn't know I was going to preach a sermon, so anyway. You ever barbecue squirrel or rabbit? Yes, I have barbecued them over an open fire, spit roasted, barbecued, barbecue sauce on the grill. All of that's good. Tennessee Smoky, it's a tricky thing to learn to want what you already got. That's all. But when you do, it is such a blessing to want something that you have. And I want to go fishing, and tomorrow I have that. I get to go. Oh, Michigan Prepper said the only bill I have is my brother William. He lives in a different town. So for those of you that didn't get it, people that's named William usually are called Bill. Oh, that's a good one, Michigan Prepper. Michigan Prepper is a writer. I done figured this out. Um, I want you. I've got to go back and find. He wrote a poem about Roscoe, the treeing dog. I've got to go back and find that. I want to get that in a book. He has wrote in the comments section stuff, and y'all, when something goes in the comments, it gets lost. I have no way to save it, to copy it, or paste it. But I've done found out Michigan Prepper, and I love poetry and literature, and he's a good writer. Comes up with some stuff. Jennifer, it'll all work out. Put your trust in the Lord. He'll take care of you. He's done proved to me that he would. That's why I have a peace. From the border of Michigan. There's Palmetto Gaming. That right there is the son of the outdoor show and Lord, I can't call the name of it. Anyway, I know who I'm talking about. I can't, my mind goes blank when I try to. Local Life Outdoors, thank you. There you go. I was sitting there thinking about it. I can't call the name of it. Yeah. I need to make my way up to the North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia area and make a loop up through there. There's a bunch of folks up in that area I'd love to meet. Jennifer, that is the best way to live. I learned it, and I told this probably building my house. Every time I would get to a place that, okay, I need this, it would become available. And I was like, wow, so God proved to me he was taking care of me. Well, y'all, I was curious about these squash. I want to show you. They good, but look how mushy that thing. So I don't know if they, but they good. The skin, I got it a little dark. The skin's a little tough. Not too tough to eat though. Good for a snack. Larry, you'll get there. It didn't all happen for me right off the bat. I started planning years back. You know what? Probably 10 years ago, I said I want to have everything paid for because I don't want to work like this all my life. And at that point in time, I was doing diesel mechanic work. I made that decision that I didn't want to have to work like that all my life under a Freightliner truck, pulling air tanks out that was covered with grease because it needed a clutch, and I had to pull all the air tanks out, everything out from under, and then pull the transmission out and put a clutch in there and put all that mess back and hook all them air lines back up. And it is a full day and a half, 2-day job. And I was so black you couldn't see me if I walked out in the dark. Just covered with grease. And I said, I don't want to do this all my life. Well, I didn't have to do that long. It got worse. I started metal roofing 4 or 5 years after that. And y'all, spring and fall ain't bad on a metal roof. Winter really ain't even that bad unless it gets ice on there. But now when it gets this kind of weather right now and you up on that roof all day, every day, now I could get up there and put a roof on right now if I had to, as long as I knew, hey, I'm going to do this one job and that's it. But to know that's what I'm going to be doing every day, that'll suck the life out of you. And I was like, I ain't doing this from now on. And that's why right now, I can sit here and work on a TP on Friday afternoon and Thursday. And I can make enough knives to pay what bills I got. And I got an internet bill, and my internet bill is strictly because I'm filming YouTube videos, so I got some Elon Musk internet. So I'm paying for Starlink. That's $120 a month. I'm paying for all of our phones, mine, Lisa's, and Michelle's, and all the service and everything goes in. That's about $300 a month. And then I got light and water bill, and that's about it. We got insurance on the vehicles. There's something I'm missing. We got something else I want to think. I'm overlooking something in light and water. But the water bill usually runs about $40, $50. It ain't bad. Our light bill, when we cooking a lot of pottery with these keels, can get expensive. But anyway, other than that, it ain't. I mean, it's manageable. Yeah, Larry, the physical labor takes a toll on you. My elbow right now is giving me some fits, and I'm waiting on my pokeberries to get right. I'm going to start using them hard and heavy to see if I can mitigate it with that. It's an injury, but it's inflamed. My favorite type of fishing is crappie and bowfin. I like the gruntle fish, probably the best of anything they are, and I'm going to do that tomorrow. Behind that, I like crappie fishing, and I like the crappie fishing because it's a challenge. And those are the two fish I eat the most, and I love running catfish lines and hooks, but Scott Kirby, I don't have no house insurance. I built my house and paid it off, and they don't force me to have. The only reason I got vehicle insurance is because by law you're forced to have it, and you got to obey what laws. But I don't know. I don't have any house insurance. If something happens to this, then I'll have to start over. If you got it, Michigan Prepper, I would appreciate if you would email it to me. I really would, because I do want that. That was a really good written poem. And if you don't have it, I know it's in one of the videos. I can probably go back and find it. It was along the time that Roscoe was treeing the squirrel down here in the thing. So I know about what time period, so it won't be that hard for me to go through and find it. I just hadn't thought about it, but you had wrote several things that I was intrigued with. Gaming with Mike, can I be a moderator? I don't have a moderator. I don't even know what a moderator does. I know Jerry Clower said something about Mr. Moderator. Oh, Lord, Lord. Oh, Uncle Sasquatch, I cut all of this yard yesterday. That was what else I did yesterday. I cut all the grass. And I cut it nonstop in about 2 hours. And I went in and I sat down and I was going to eat me a bowl of ice cream. And you believe I sat down and drank a jug of water and never did eat no. I ain't eat no ice cream, y'all, all week. I just sitting here thinking about that. I ain't had a bowl of ice cream, or have I think I had one like Tuesday or something, maybe. I don't know. I don't eat as much ice cream as y'all think. I don't think. No, Tennessee, we don't with this group. And since I have been doing lives, we had one fella that got on here every week and created chaos, making stupid comments, and I blocked him, and we ain't had no. And I hated to block I hate to block people. I don't know why, but it's the right thing to do, because if you don't, they'll create problems for you. Uh, they'll get your channel a strike, turn you in, and it's just because they mad. I don't know. People full of anger and hate. That's like I'm about sick of Instagram, because I have gotten to where I don't know what I watched something the other day. And if you watch one thing, it'll start putting stuff similar to that on your reels. And it's done got a bunch of political junk on there, and I get so aggravated. I don't care who they like. Bunch of junk. Political stuff makes me so mad, and it's either side. I don't like neither one of them. I mean, you have to choose, and I said this year I don't even know if I'm gonna vote. I don't know if it's gonna make no difference. I don't think it even make. I don't think your vote counts for nothing. I really don't. Not no more. Matthew Presley, good to see you tonight. I've got to get those smoke poles tuned up, and we're going to do that this coming week. Matthew, we're in the process right now of building a teepee. You see it scattered out here behind me. We are going to have a 15-foot diameter teepee, 18-foot tall, before this is said and done. VA Woodsman, I use privet shaft for my ramrods, and I use it for arrow shafts. So, is it ideal? Don't know. But it's the straightest thing I have growing here naturally. The next thing I would attempt probably to use is maybe the shoots from this American Beauty Bush. I don't know how well they would work, but I have not. And if you can find saplings like hickory and stuff like, by the time I find one that's already too big, I can find these privet shafts pretty reasonable, and I chuck them up in a drill and sand it smooth like that. Oh, Larry, I had to build a ramrod, that 36 caliber. I broke the one that come with it right straight. I mean, I get excited when I'm looking at that squirrel up there, and he's running from limb to limb, and I'm trying to hurry up and get it loaded. I broke that thing off. Man, I found out them, though, that made out of them dowel rods ain't the ideal thing. And I think the one for my 50 caliber is made from a dowel rod, but I don't know. I may make another one for it if it shoots good. If it don't shoot good, when I shoot it next week or whenever I get time, I may can do it Sunday evening. I don't know. Whenever I get time though to shoot that thing, if it don't start somewhat grouping and do like I think it ought to, we're gonna be in Plan B mode of probably hunting with a 45-70 this year, but we're going to be saving money up to get a kit and build us a 50 caliber rifle. My question is, I talked with Mr. Jack Garner the other day, got up with him where I got the 36 caliber kit, and he, well, a couple of things I'll share with you. He told me that he could sell me a kit, but he told me, he said, don't build a Hawken. He said, I wouldn't wish that on nobody. He said, them Hawkins is hard to build. So has anybody here built a Hawken kit? How hard Mr. Jack has been selling and building these rifles for a long time. He said a Hawking kit's hard to build. Well, it done something to me. It was like, well, if they hard to build, that might be something I want to try. Just enough grit and hard-headedness in me to say, well, if everybody else thinks it's hard, that's what I want to accomplish then. That's the thing I want to do. So I don't know. Has anybody built a Hawking rifle from scratch? Not ordered a kit that is already everything where all you got to do is put it together. We talking about you got to build it. So anyway, the next thing that Mr. Jack told me, he said deer hunt with that 36 caliber. I was like, you think it'll kill a deer? Is it legal? He said, I think it's legal. He said, it's got to be above a 20-something caliber rifle to hunt with. And he said, that's a 36. He said, but go up from your 27 grains of powder that you shooting squirrels with and put about 65 grains in it just to give it plenty of penetration. So y'all, we making deer hunt with the rifle I already have. Why didn't I think of that? I don't know. What are y'all opinion on that? Y'all think I should just deer hunt with the old flintlock? Guys outside, we going fishing tomorrow and we're going to put them in the cooler. Sing that old song. Put them in the cooler. That's where they belong. Put them in the cooler all day long. Has to be 40 caliber or larger here in Tennessee. I bet there's some law like that here. I guarantee you. I'll have to look at the Mississippi law on that. But now y'all, a law's only as good as its enforcement. I got game wardens that watch this channel, so and deputy sheriffs and judges, and so I really can't do that. But why can't I? You law enforcement around, why can't I hunt my 36 caliber flintlock? I'll have to really look at the law and see what it says. You can pull it up. I got an app on my phone. I can pull up the laws and read them and look at them. So that's what I'll have to do and see. Ed Smith, I like to do things the way I like to do it, but now I don't like to go to jail and I don't like to pay tickets. But now I had a man that watches this channel. He's from another state, and he said that he didn't have nowhere to hunt no more either, and he's retired. He said, I ain't even got to have a license. He said, so they can't take my license no more. He said, so I'm just saved up and got the price of a ticket for trespassing in my pocket, and I'm just going to hunt where I want to. He said, when I get caught, I'll just, instead of paying a deer lease, I'll just pay the ticket. He said, then I'll go on hunting. I said, well, let me know how that works out for you. I might want to try it next year. I promise y'all a deer lease is about $1,500 here. You can pay several trespassing tickets for that and hunt a whole lot more properties. Just hunt each one of them different properties one time, and when they get you on that game camera, if you need to wear one of them face masks where they can't readily identify you. I didn't tell y'all how to do that. Lord, Lord, Lord. I know some old boys that'll try that. I know some watching this channel that'll try that. I don't have to worry about it because they're not going to trespass on my place. Ain't nothing here for them to get. Well, Larry, did your offer go through? And what caliber did you make an offer on? We need, and y'all, Larry sent me that ladle. I am ready to pour some round ball molds. We're going to have to get out there. I may do it up here under this porch because I can set that thing right over there on that cooker. And I think that handle will lay right over that side over there where it won't get too hot. Man, I can get right over there and put my table, and we can get under here and just make all the round balls we want to make, which I got a cooker down yonder that I've used to do them knives. It was a 50 caliber flintlock. Well, go up, Larry. Ease up a few dollars. Has to be 38 caliber here. That's about right. Yeah, Uncle Sasquatch, old Tommy, he's hit or miss nowadays. You don't never know if he's going to show up and make his presence known or not. He was working on his motorcycle last weekend. He may still be tinkering on computers. Him and Martin Meltzer's had computer troubles. Larry, you having fun, ain't you, melting lead and pouring it in there? Hey, I tell y'all what, I had to block somebody today for commenting how stupid I was on that video of me with an axe and no shoes on. You just wait till I start pouring lead out here barefooted. They'll come unwound. And the thing they don't realize, y'all, all them old mountain men was doing that with moccasins on. That moccasin is a deer. That ain't gonna slow no axe down. And a rubber boot ain't neither. And that's what most everybody's wearing. Yep, I like to pour round balls. I am going to, another thing, since I love the 4570, and I got two of them, good guns, I'm going to get me a lever gun in 4570. But I'm going to get a mold to make my own 4570 lead bullets and get me one of them stump reloaders where I can sit right here and load that on that stump right there. What I want to do, and shoot them right off down through. That's what I need to do. It's loud under him. I need to fix it where I can shoot my gun right here. Right now I got to go back down there to where that pond is, where my target's set up, but it was rotted, and I got to fix my target stand back up. That's why I ain't shot it yet. I could go over there where Daddy's thing is, but I can't film over there because he's building on a cabin, making running saws and stuff. Living in the outdoors. Man, I am top of the world. Oh, Uncle Sasquatch, your rats done chewed your wires up on your brand new internet. Time to get you a cat. You got a stump loader in 4570. Do they work good? I seen Shoe had one up there at Log Cabin Looms. He's the first one I seen fooling with one. And I've got all the reloading stuff to reload 4570 over there at the reloading building. But I want one of them stump ones so I can sit out here and play with it. Just for the, because I load the 4570 with black powder. But now the primers is what is like hen's teeth right now, I think. Well, Uncle Sasquatch, you feeding that cat too much. Because I got one down yonder that every time it gets close, used to when it was younger, I'd kick at it. I'd keep it out from under your feet, and now it hunts down there. It'll catch one of them big old rats big as a squirrel and come lay it up here on the front door out there on the porch. It'll lay it on the welcome mat. You'll go out in the morning and drink your coffee on the porch, and you have to watch or you'll step on rat guts. There'll be a headless rat out there. Every now and then we'll find just a tail of one. But now me and Brody, we had some rat killings. We done thinned them rats out pretty good. We killed quite a few over the last couple of months. I ain't been out there in a month or so. But we fixed this cat. We didn't want them algae, we didn't want them multiplying. If you let them cats get to spreading, they worse than pigs. They'll multiply like rabbits. No, guys, outside, the pig has not come back. We mowed down the wheat and oats that they were coming up here eating, and they ain't come back. So it's about time we fixing to gear up to plant pumpkins. So we're going to see. When we start disking and all that, I don't know what we're going to do. But I know where the pigs are. The pigs are down there on the creek. It's getting dry right here now. So they're down there along the creek where there's some water is what they're doing. Alligators probably thinning them out too. So yeah, I need to get set up where I can shoot right up here. I did have a lane I could shoot right out here, but my tractor's sitting down there in the way right now, and I don't know, I was peeling logs and junk down there. But one thing with Brody up here, I hate to shoot a whole lot around him, but now I probably need to invest in some more earmuffs, and me and him can shoot some. I'll shoot that muzzleloader without hearing protection, but now they're big rifles. I try to wear it when we're shooting them on a regular basis. I don't wear it when I'm hunting, but I will when I'm shooting. I put that cotton in my ears one time when I filmed a video just for funny. I've got, I don't know how many it's an old video, and I still get comments along. People, they can't handle it. They get mad about how that ain't gonna work. And they don't have no idea. Cotton actually works better than them foam things you stick in your ears. It just looks a mite silly. But most folks, if you don't do stuff what way they like, they want to tell you how wrong you are because you ain't doing it the way they was told to do it in that last video they watched. And they all experts sitting on their couch with their Coca-Cola and their tater chips. What? Did he say that? No, he didn't. Yeah, he did. Oh, Lord. Rodney, I doubt I'm going to pour lead inside the teepee. I'm going to do it out here on my cooker. But yeah, you know, I don't know what kind of fumes is off of lead. I know they don't. One thing, if folks get sideways about aluminum, I seen this old fella, him and his wife, they was carrying on about how not to cook in aluminum foil. Don't cook in aluminum foil. And they wrapped their meat up in parchment paper that's held together with glue. It ain't wax paper. Because, you know, wax will melt off and get paraffin wax on your food, so you can't use that. They using that glued together, you know, parchment paper. And that's what they was cutting, butcher's paper. Well, you know, when you heat that up, that glue that holds that paper together, you know, paper's made out of wood. It's real fine and got a layer of glue that holds that wood together. Well, when you heat that up, you know, with meat wrapped in it, that glue will go on in your food too, you know. I didn't know if folks was aware of that or not, you know. Maybe they don't mind eating hot glue, they just don't want to eat aluminum. So anyway, we're going to all die of something for this is said and done. 1,000 ticks later. Yeah, for all good things, them ticks will wrap you up if you ain't careful. You better go back and watch that. I did make a bug dope video, mint and beauty bush. I made that into a thing, and it seems to help. I don't use it a whole lot, but when I did use it, it worked for the mosquitoes. I figured to keep ticks away too. VA Woods said I have my dad's old Hawken. The barrel says Spain Springfield Hawken. I'd like to put a new barrel on this old stock. Will any Hawken barrel fit? I would get on eBay and look. The thing you've got to look at is the size of the barrel is either going to be 1 inch or 15/16. That's your first thing you look at. You can make a stock bigger. You can't make it smaller. So you can go from a 15/16 barrel up to a 1 inch barrel if you don't mind sanding the wood out like I did in that video the other day. The next thing is you got to look to see if it's got a hook breech or a button breech. Whatever your gun has, that is what you want the same. Now you can change the tang out for it. So here's where it gets tricky. The dovetails for your sights could be different. Your tang under there where your pin goes in to hold it could be in a different place. So that's the main thing I would check, is get a hard measurement from the back of the barrel, where the back of the breech, up to where that is. Get a very precise measurement of that and message whoever's got a barrel that you think will work on eBay and tell them to give you a measurement up to where the hole in that pin is, at, what do you call it, the tang under there? Not the tang, the tenon under there. Make sure that works. Now, Uncle Sasquatch can give you more information than I can, but I will say, my mindset's different. I'm always like, if I got the basics, I can re-drill screw holes and re-thread screw holes and such as this kind of stuff. Because if you build a rifle, the rifle I built, I had to file in my dovetail notches. So all of that kind of stuff is doable. Whether you can do it or not, only you can make those decisions. So, oh, Larry, I heard a buddy of mine down here. He sat up here today and conversed with us a while. But here, a year or so ago, he's a guy that makes some knives, makes some fine knives. But he just don't, some of his equipment's going bad. He said he needed a new belt grinder and something else quit on him, and his forge wasn't working good. He's kind of getting to the age he ain't interested in making so many knives no more. But he said he used to be into the black powder stuff like I am now, and he said that he was doing it in the house one night, and said it was hot. It was summertime, and he was in there just wanted to play with his stuff and was pouring some lead balls or bullets or something. And he said he was leaned over his stuff and said sweat dripped off of his nose. And he said he seen it. By the time it dripped, said he started jerking back so it wouldn't drip in there. But he said it, or maybe it dripped off his elbow was what it was. He was reaching over and said sweat was dripping off his elbow. But anyway, it wound up in that water. He said it sprayed that stuff all over the ceiling. He said we like to never got that lid off them cabinet doors. Oh, Lord, Lord. David Russian, the CVA Woodsman. What is the difference, y'all, in the CVA? As I was looking, there's a Hawken and then there's the Frontier rifle. What are the difference between those two? I didn't really see what the difference was, and I was looking at these barrels on eBay. Oh. Spain Springfield Hawken. My Investa Arms Hawken is a Spain made, but it's an Investa Arms. And I will say that the Thompson center barrel fit into the breech and all of it well. So I don't know if that helps any at all. So I made a Frankenstein rifle basically. I got a it's part Thompson Center Renegade and part Investa Arms. So I just had to sand the stock out. But I tell y'all, as soon as I get this TP done, I am wanting to get to shooting my bow. It's time to be getting practice back up. I missed a good deer last year. I say a good deer, a doe. I should have got my first. I have never killed a deer with a traditional bow. I've killed them with my compound bow, and I may wind up hunting. If I can't get where I'm confident with that recurve, I may wind up shooting my compound before it's said and done. I don't know. We'll have to see. VA Woodsman, I tell you this black powder stuff is a lot of fun, but building and working on it and making stuff for it's as much fun as hunting with it. Me and a buddy of mine, Billy Skipper was talking the other day. He come picked up a knife, and we was talking about some of this stuff. And the thing is like me, I like to meat hunt. I mean, I'm not in the woods just because I'm trophy hunting big bucks. I get excited when I kill a big buck. I want to kill a big buck. I'm not against it. That ain't my reason for hunting. I'm hunting because I want the meat. I like to eat deer. I like that gamey flavor of deer meat. You know, venison steak about yay thick. You know, just seared on either side and red the middle is fine eat with garlic, salt, lemon pepper on it. But you know, after a little while, as many deer as I have killed at this point in my life, shooting a doe with a high-powered rifle with a 50 power scope on it, you know, really ain't exciting anymore. I'm happy about it because I got a deer. I'm finna eat good, so it ain't like I'm not gonna do it. And it ain't that, hey, when I kill one, I'm not gonna be happy about it. But it is a lot more fun and challenging to make it interesting to harvest your does with traditional gear when you can. So that, you know, shooting old doe with a round ball puts a little more excitement back into harvesting a doe. And especially if I could kill a doe with a traditional bow, one that I had made, would really be that's one of my goals. That's something I want to do. So I got to try to make that happen. My biggest problem with bow hunting is I have crippled some deer, and it breaks my heart to shoot a deer and then have to blood trail it, and then realize, you know what, it's probably gonna get away. Probably ain't gonna die. And it's usually midnight before I make that decision and say, you know what, I wills to go on to the house. This one ain't going down. Because I'll trail them. I'll crawl on my hands and knees. And I'm not happy knowing I injured an animal and it's walking around injured. I don't know that's my only problem with bow hunting. I struggle with that. And it's because with traditional archery, I'm not good enough with it yet to know that if that deer's at 30 yards, I could kill him, you know. And if I'm really needing to meet at 30 yards, I'm like, I believe I can hit, you know. It's hard to sit there and say, you know what, don't shoot that. And, you know, I wish I could get every deer inside of 10 yards and say, I'm not shooting past 10 yards. So I don't know. I was finna go off into something else. What was I fixing? I was finna talk about something else. What was it? I never mentioned it, so I ain't no way you know. So anyway, I my biggest problem though also is not having good places to hunt that have lots of game to where I can back off and do it. Last year I struggled to even get a shot at deer. So, boy, bugs is getting crawling everywhere. How come I ain't back there on that? I know y'all don't think so, but I got that bug light back there just to shine, and I don't know if it's zapping bugs or not, but we got more bugs than we can shake a stick at out here flying around, getting in my coffee and whatnot. You have to learn to drink your coffee real careful, because if you ain't careful, you'll suck one of them bugs right on down. I'm going to go warm this back up. I'm going to just set this on top of the grill. Eat me another one of these squish. Y'all like these squish? Little brown on the bottom. Well, that's probably more like black, but marshmallow. That all depends on if I'm going hunting the next day. If I know I'm going hunting again tomorrow, I pull the cap off, or if a flintlock, pour the powder out of the pan, and you're okay with a loaded gun a week or two. Take it inside, make sure it ain't in no damp area. In other words, you don't want to leave it out on the porch or, somewhere. Take it in there where it's good and dry and ain't going to get damp. And you're all right for a week or so with a loaded gun. The problem is if you're not sure that you're going to get to go back hunting, like, I might go back tomorrow and then again it might be a month ago and then I may tote a different gun next time and forget. And the problem is in 6 months when you're like I was the other day and thought about, I need to see about this rifle and realize, you know what, I put that up loaded and it's middle of the summer, then it becomes a problem. It's a lot harder to get it to shoot in too. Well, Mary, I think the bug light is working. I think I just got more bugs than it can handle. Yeah, I'm drawing them in probably from miles around, all these lights I got out here. But I can't film a video if y'all can't see me. I told somebody, I said, I want to go gator hunting in the daytime because that gator hunting at night, you can't make videos at night. It's hard to do. You can make a video, but folks don't really know what you're doing. Donnie in Arkansas. Palmetto Gaming, you trying to get some subscribers. Y'all check him out. Local Life Outdoors, son. And check out Local Life Outdoors if you hadn't already. Y'all probably like that channel for sure. Chris, how are you? How is you? right now. They flying around everywhere. We got skeeters, Donnie said. The skeeters are not bothering me yet tonight. The other night, they like to eat me up out here last Friday before I got through. But now tonight, I ain't felt not one come in here. So, and I was out here sewing on the TP last night till 10 o'clock or better, and I never felt one. So. Well, Chris, all that work, are you getting ahead? My problem is when the harder I work, the further I get behind. I like this old fella down the road. Him one time we was all sitting around a little store. We used to all go in there and polish them metal chairs in there, and they'd cook us a biscuit. We'd hang around in there and sip coffee too long. And they asked old boy, said, "What you gonna do today?" He said, "I don't know." He said, "I got so much to do." He said, "I believe I just wait till tomorrow." Oh, Lord. And that's the truth. That's a fact my hand up. No, I can tell you in this country, you don't get ahead working hard. You can make do and get by, but you don't get ahead working hard. You have to be a swindler and a cheat and a... No, I'm kidding. It's a tricky thing to get ahead in this life. Most of them folks that really get ahead, they fudge a little bit, you know. Yep. I've done it a long time. I worked in mechanicked and roofed and all that stuff. And when I got where I didn't have to do it, come home and started making pottery. Now the problem is you gotta not mind being broke. You don't mind being broke occasionally, you know. But you know, when I got everything I need around here, what I need money for, I can make enough to pay my bills. So I don't need money to go fishing. I done accumulated enough fishing baits for a quit to last me till I die probably. So, Gable Reeves, I have got a pot-bellied stove I can put in the teepee. It's like this tall pot-bellied stove, and I may put it in there. I don't know. I'm probably gonna start out with a fire pit and see what happens. But we're gonna. Well, Chris, keep at it. You'll get there, bud. You will get there. All it takes is making your mind up and saying, "This is what I'm working towards. This is what I'm gonna do," and you can flat get there. Oh. I tell y'all, when I decided I was fixing to build a house, I had done decided I was tired of this trailer. I had prayed and asked for a house years and years before, and I had asked the Lord for a paid-for house, one I didn't have to work to make payments on. But I went to finance a double-wide trailer for $75,000, and I was like, well, that ain't too bad for a well-built one. It had like 2x4 well-framed walls, 2x10 floor, you know, I mean, it was well-built. I looked at it. Buccaneer Homes, it was in Columbus, Mississippi. I walked in there and we talked. I done say I had the down payment money. $7,500 is what they wanted for a down payment check. I had that check in my hand. I done saved all that money up. And we talked to that fellow. Oh yeah, man, he is. I said, well, what's the payments gonna be on it? What we looking at for payments? You know, how long we find? He kept beating around the bush. Well, I done got uneasy because he wouldn't come straight out and tell me. And I done talked to several people about their payments was $450, $500 something a month. And I'm like, we can swing that. I can handle that. That ain't too bad. Knew I was gonna pay some interest, finance. It's a given. He said, well, it'll be $700 and something for I don't know how many, 20 years, and I was like, whoa, 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 Oh yeah, you gonna pay interest? I said, not that much, I ain't. Y'all, they was $110,000 worth of interest on this house. I said, not for no trailer. Oh, well, I'll hold your check. I'll hold your down payment check. Y'all think about it. I said, there ain't nothing to think about. Han. He said, well, you ain't going to do no different. You going to pay interest. It don't matter what you do. When I got through with this, building this house, I was a good mind to send him a picture of it and say, ain't no interest on this, bud. But anyway, I come home. I was about half depressed. I was still drinking a little then. I was sitting out there with a beer in my hand, about frustrated, talking ugly to myself. I got to thinking about that little guy that swam across the Rio Grande, pulled his kids across in an inner tube, and not far over here, I was working with him at the time. He had a house that he built that was paid for. He didn't know a dime on it. Nice house, 2-story. Took him about 5 or 6 years to build it, but he worked and paid for it and built it. He didn't have no credit. He didn't have nothing. I said, by God, if he can do it, I can. And that was the day I made my mind up. And that's how I got where I'm at right now. It just takes determination and saying, you know what, if other people can do it, I can. So anyway, y'all, you ain't got to live that rat race life. You don't have to do it. You're going to have to work for a while. I mean, you got to get ahead. But we suckered into finance and stuff. That is a huge mistake. And a credit card is the worst thing in the world. If you're not financially able to pay that credit card completely off at the end of every month, you have no business with a credit card at all. I don't care what them tell you about building your credit up. Sometimes credit is your worst enemy. I had a man told me one day, he said, if you can't afford to pay for it when you go buy it and pay for it and pay cash for it, he said, you really can't afford it. Local Life Outdoors, we've been talking about you. Your son's been on here. He's done gaining subscribers on him. Lord, Lord, Lord. Y'all get that boy some subscribers. Some of you ain't got nothing else to do. Independent thinker, it ain't never too late either, is it? 71 and no payments. You know, sometimes we look up and we go, you know what? I have wasted these years. I've made bad decisions up to now. But, you know, today's a new day. Today, you can be a whole different person than you was yesterday. It just takes stopping and saying, you know what? I'm sick of being like this. I'm sick of the way life's going. It may not change tomorrow, but you can change today. And then when you start making better decisions, saying, you know what, doing like I've done's got me to here, I can't do that more. You got to learn from your mistakes, and you're blessed when you can learn from other people's mistakes. When you see what somebody else has done, one of the things that our nation right now has plagued with is the generations that are coming up under me. I'm 42, finna be 43. But the generations that's way younger than me, and not all of them, some of them were raised by good parents, some of them just paid attention, and so it ain't everybody. But we just talking about the majority of these people have no comprehension of consequences to actions. They don't realize that if I do this, this is what's going to happen. And I know that because I done seen this person do it and this person do it, or I done it. They always, oh no, it was because they didn't know what they was doing, or they didn't do it right, or they wasn't holding their mouth right when they done it. That ain't gonna, that don't change nothing. Uncle Sasquatch, that is good to hear. He said, for those of you that ain't at home watching on TV that ain't reading the chat, Uncle Sasquatch said, I forgot to mention I went to the cardiologist today and my heart is still in rhythm. God has blessed me. So praise the Lord. Thank you, Lord, for looking out for Uncle Sasquatch. And I know he's had a lot of people praying for him. So all of you that has said a prayer for him, thank you. We all appreciate it. Uncle Sasquatch is a really good dude. Him and Mike Reed and several of them has been very inspirational and instrumental in the growth of this channel. And I don't take either one of them for granted. And they not the only ones. There has been some other folks that have supported me from the very beginning. Larry Alexander has been watching, I know, since the very first part of me starting this channel. And I'm sure there's a lot of the other ones. I know Tennessee Smokey has been here for a long time. Several different ones. And then I'm going to tell y'all, through this YouTube channel, I have met some wonderful people out there. It has allowed me to connect with my people. In other words, when I say my people, and I don't own people, obviously, and I don't consider them followers or fans, or I don't really know how to. I say subscribers sometimes, but view. I don't really know what word to use, but I have been able to find people that are like me, that think like me, that we all kind of like the same things, and they just good people. And I realize there's a lot of good people out there. They just got enough sense to keep their mouth shut for the most part. And I reckon I probably don't. That's why I'm on here making noise. But I am really trying to share some good in a world full of plenty bad. Because I can tell y'all, it don't matter who you vote for. If you get on Instagram or Facebook and see a bunch of political stuff, one of the others gonna get your feathers ruffled up for the day's over and have your blood boiling, and that ain't good for you, because they ain't nothing me and you can do to change what either side thinks. And they ain't neither one of them really for us. They for themselves, and some of their beliefs may benefit us down the road is about the best we can hope for. So I don't, with all this spewing political stuff, I try to stay away from it and share some good. And, just some peaceful, go back to simple living, live off the land. I mean, we're not off grid and completely living off the land here, but I supplement our lifestyle with as much from the land as I can. And I got into medicinal plants simply because I like hot drinks. I like coffee, drink too much coffee, so I need hot tea. And I need to go get my coffee, speaking of it. But as I was saying, my biggest thing is I ain't going to no doctor. So I got into medicinal plants because, for my little aches and pains and ailments, I want to find what works. Well, then when you find out plants really do work and help you, you sold on it. So you can do a lot for yourself. And it's like the teepee out here. When you want something and you've learned to take care of your own self, if you'll believe in yourself, you can make just about anything you want. Now, you may screw up some of it. This TP ain't turned, everything ain't on it ain't professional. And every hem and every stitch ain't perfect. When I get it erected, and like I told Uncle Sasquatch, he said, I hope everything works out for you. I said, well, it don't never just work out for me. I have to make it work out. In other words, I wasn't being a smart aleck. I was just saying that nothing ever just comes together and be like, oh man, that worked out great. I done tore apart one seam and re-sewed it back together, and there's stuff that hadn't went right. I've had to learn how to operate that machine and get the bobbin right in it and different things. Well, when I get it erected, it may not fit all just right. I may have to take it down and redo some stuff. But before it's over with, it will be perfect for me. I mean, but everything don't just, but believe in yourself and say, you know what, I can figure this out. And if you'll think like that, you can figure it out. And you can do anything anybody else can do. They ain't nobody that's more special than you. Brody will be 5 this summer, Suzanne. Good night, Tennessee Smoky. Palmetto Gaming, don't watch them numbers on your channel growth. That'll depress you. I quit. I don't watch mine no more. I every now and then I'll look at it, but I don't keep an eye on it. That'll suck the life out of you trying to grow a small channel. Don't get caught up in the numbers. Just make videos and enjoy making the videos. That's what it's all about. Build a nest box wasn't perfect, but the chickens didn't know it. There you go, Philip. Chicken ain't happy with it. He's mighty picky, ain't he? I tell y'all, I found out it's hard to grow a channel because even at where I have grown to, I stop and look at, there's some other channels that started after I did that blew up, that has got 250,000 subscribers now, and I'm like, my Lord, how did they get there? I mean, you know, it just seems like some people have I don't know. And some of them ain't even really that great of channels, in my opinion, but you know, my opinion is my opinion. It ain't the same as everybody else's. That's another thing, talking about YouTube and stuff. You know, a lot of people, they get the mentality that if we don't agree on every single thing, if you do one thing that I don't like, well, I ain't watching you no more. Well, you know, I'm living with a woman that there's some things about her I don't like. But I don't just pack up and walk off because of it. And I thought that was how you done everything. You know, there's a lot of people that I enjoy watching them, and I don't like everything they do. Oh, Lord, Mike Reeves, I don't need to drag out the guitar. Oh, I ain't played the guitar in a week or two. I've been busy doing stuff, and I have not had the guitar out. I don't know no songs, the reason I don't really get it out and play. Well, Gable Reeves, as soon as we get the TP finished and erected and the black powder shooting, all of that is going to have some bushcraft mixed in with it because we're going to make some arrows for the bow. We're going to make a bow. I have been promising a bow building video for I don't know when, but we're gonna do some. Yeah, I'm gonna do some. I love bushcrafting and stuff, but I don't really call it bushcrafting. I call it woodsmanship, just fire building and different things. But I have got to get medicinal plant videos. Now I'm behind. The garden has been working me pretty good. Jeff, good to see you, bud. How are you? Everything still kosher and going well? We still praying for you. Michigan Prepper, thank you. I'll check that email as soon as we get off of this live. Suzanne offered, Brody is learning a lot of stuff. Now, Brody learns what Brody wants to learn. And I'm learning as well with him and teaching him. In other words, I've learned not to try to force knowledge on him. If he's interested in something, you can teach him. If he ain't interested in it, you wasting your breath. So That's like if we going fishing, if he wants to go alligator hunting or go fishing, we can learn about that then. But if he'd rather play Army men, I'm better off to leave him here playing Army men and go and do what I'm doing. So that's why you don't see Brody in every video and stuff, is I don't want to make him think that every day of his life he's got to spend his life with a camera shoved in his face. I want to let him be a kid, you know. He does a lot with me, and we film a lot. And I, like the potatoes, he was really wanting to play and do some other stuff, and I was like, well, I figure he'd like picking up potatoes, and it was hot out there, and he come picked up a little while, and then he wanted to go back and play with his men in there. I let him go. I wasn't going to make him stay out there the whole time we film a video. I don't want him to grow up thinking that everything's got to be on camera, that he ain't got no private life. So I'm trying to find that happy medium. And I hear a lot of people, I want to address this. A lot of times I'll say something about the live, about postponing and moving it to a different night, and everybody's like, oh, spend time with your family. There is no shortage of family time here in none of this family, even with my mom and dad or whatever. Family time is not sacrificed here to make YouTube videos. I mean, I'm here all day. We work together. We do pottery together. We travel together. We, you know, everything. We cook together. We together all day. There's no. So I know some people don't understand that because they don't live the life that I live. I'm not off working a separate job where I'm away from my wife all day or away from my kids. We get up in the morning, y'all, and I need to document this and get it in a video at some point. We literally get up in the morning about 6 o'clock, 6:30, sometimes it's 7 before I get up. And we make coffee, and we either sit on the front porch. We've gravitated, or I like to come sit back here. And sometimes Michelle will sit on the front porch, I'll sit on the back porch. And usually if I come out here by myself, it's because I want to talk to the Lord. And a lot of times I sit here with a cup of coffee and I just talk to the Lord sitting in this rocking chair like he's sitting here with me. But we sit out here together and talked, and she cooked on the Blackstone this morning. And I laid the hammock and read a book till 8:30 before I started working on the teepee. Hour and a half, 2 hours. We sat here and drank coffee and just talked. So, you know, a lot of people, they think, well, you know, family time, you go spend time, be with your family. Well, I don't let YouTube interfere with family here. So, you know, I just wanted to mention that because I know a lot of people question it and wonder about it. Local life, I have not been fishing much, but we are discussing tomorrow. I'm probably going griddle fishing because my daughter we're going to cook for her tomorrow night. So I'm probably going to get up in the morning and go griddle fishing and fish till I catch some griddle. And I will bring them home and put them in my 55-gallon barrel and turn the aerator on in it, and they'll stay alive till the time to cook, and then I'll go fillet them all and come back and start cooking. So, no, I have not fished in 2 weeks. The last fishing I done was when I camped out. That's the last fishing Let me back up. I did get my fishing pole out of the day at the pond Sunday. Me and Brody caught 1 or 2 bass Sunday, and I used a lure. I was going to film it. I was testing it. They sent Top Strike Lures from up in New York, sent me some lures. And I have not been able to make a video with them yet. And I got it out, and I caught a couple of bass with it. I was like, well, I need to film a video with this because they are good lures. They're going to work. They got a treble hook. And I lost the dead blame thing up in a tree. Now, I've got 3 more of them. I'm not out. He sent me 4 lures. And I can see the other one. It's hanging up the tree, so I can get it. I just got to take something over there to get it with out of the tree. But anyway, me and Brody did fish Sunday, just very little around the edge of the pond. So I have to back up and not say I ain't been at all. You fly on. Good woodsmanship is a hard skill to master. Yeah, Woodsmanship I like better than bushcraft, and I don't know where the term bushcraft come from or what it means, and I mean I ain't against it. The reason I don't really like bushcraft is because bushcraft is centered around more gear and less skill. They don't really think it is, but you look at the marketing of it, and it is. It's about bushcraft knives, bushcraft gimmicky fire kits, and I mean all kind of stuff. Better tarps, better this, you know. I mean, like Canterbury, he done me in with his, and I love Canterbury, y'all. I still watch Dave Canterbury videos. Dave Canterbury is a wealth of knowledge. I understand he's pushing product. He's trying to make a living. My hat's off to him for that. I'm not going to be against him for that. Do I like all of his sales pitch videos? No, and I don't watch all of them. If he's doing something interesting, I'll watch it, and he does know some stuff. He puts a lot of work into learning and teaching skills, and I think he's good at it. But now that Woodsman's wedgie, that aluminum wedge thing, now he lost me on that. I can't see the purpose of me ever wanting to purchase one of them or own one. I can't see a reason for it. It's an aluminum wedge. What I need with that? I can use so many other things in my bag to do what that's do. Oh, no. No, I don't need it. But there was a pile of folks bought one just because it's got Pathfinder on it. Yeah. C.C. Clark, howdy from Central Texas. That them wild lettuce videos is getting me a lot of attention, and I've been using the tincture more lately. I have not even used, but I have found out that tar is shelf stable. It will not ruin on you. You can set it on the shelf in a jar and it'll sit there. It ain't going bad. So, yeah, independent thinker. Bushcraft originally, I think, was about skills, but my reasoning is everybody has tacked it onto bushcraft gear. So when you say bushcraft now everybody thinks of bushcraft as knives, you know, hatchets, tarps, backpacks. Bushcraft is I'm going to put everything I can fit into one bag and I'm going to walk off with it and I'm going somewhere. And I'll be honest with you, I have completely got away from bag at all. I got to using my common sense, and I said, what do you need a bag for? Self, what are you doing? Why is all this stuff in a bag that can get wet? And then the folks is trying to water. I had even bought a dry bag to put in my bag so the bag wouldn't get wet, or my stuff in the bag wouldn't get wet. And I said, Self, there's a real simple solution to this. Put it all in a Tupperware tub, because all you doing with that bag is throwing it in the back of the buggy and driving to the swamp, unloading the canoe and throwing the bag in the canoe and paddling to wherever you, and Self at Tupperware tub makes a good stool and that. So I'm probably gonna do bugs crawling on my, probably gonna do a video on the Tupperware tub, and I may even call it a bushcraft tub. That'd really get them, wouldn't it? Yeah. Jeffrey, I think me and you think a lot alike, because that's what it is. It's camping. We're going camping, because I'm going to tell y'all, I'm not going to ever try to live out of no bag. I mean, if somebody comes and says, you got to leave that house right there, you ain't staying here no more, this is mine, I'm going to say, over my dead body, and my dead body don't need no bag. I refuse to be herded around like a goat somewhere. Ain't happening. I mean, I'm for You know, I'd rather die free than live a slave. I don't know. My thinking ain't like everybody else's. Though most everybody's, you know, I'm willing to sacrifice a little more freedom for a little more safety. I don't like safety. I don't do safety gear. I don't do safety videos. In fact, if it's very safe, I don't want no part of it. CC Clark at crock pot is the way to go, provided your crock pot don't bring water to a boiling temperature. Marshmut, do grinnels stay alive in a cooler like catfish, or do you have to keep them in a live well bath? As long as grinnel are in water, they'll live in a mud hole for days. As long as you don't hurt the gills and stuff in them, a grinnel can live with very little oxygen in the water. In fact, they can come up in about Gulf. You can catch them. Yeah, Jeffrey, I'm not. I mean, that having a backpack and running with all your survival gear, and I'm going from here to there, it don't really make a lot of sense because number one, I can't leave and take my wife and my little boy and my daughter all with me with backpacks. Just we can't do it. My wife would never make it. She's not built like that. I could walk anywhere with a backpack and what was in it and survive, but she can't. And I'm not leaving her. So it's fight. I mean, if somebody comes up here and says, y'all have to leave him, it's going to be a fight. Is that biblical? I don't know. I've been asked that before. Well, the Bible says about this, you know. There's sometimes I'm going to have to do a lot of praying, and the Lord may tell me, you know what, walk off and let them have it. And if the Lord tells me that, and I know the Lord said, hey, you let them have it and you leave, I'll go. I won't like it. I'll go. And at that moment, I may have a huge change of heart. But me sitting here right now, there's not nobody going to walk up and say, you know what, you can't live here no more. You got to go. And me say, all right, okay. Uh-uh. Now, I'm not going to go to shooting people right off the bat, but I'm going to say, no, I'm not going nowhere. You at the wrong house. What that woman on on Young Guns, it wasn't Young Guns, it was American Outlaws. Y'all ever watched that old Western? She said, let me talk to the Lord. She said, She said, okay, the Lord said we could bury him out back under the peach trees. Them Pinkerton men didn't like it. But that's what they was telling her was she had to get out of that house, and she said she wouldn't go. Good night, Jimmy Sullivan. Independent thinker, I could survive myself out of a backpack with a little or nothing. And I hadn't never really done any videos on that kind of stuff, but I could do it. I mean, I could put what I need in. But my thing is I don't never really have to anymore. And that's the reason I went to a tub, is I've got a buggy to drive anywhere I want to go. I got a canoe I can paddle all up and down the swamp. And it's more practical for me to put everything in that Tupperware tub because it'll hold more and it's square and it don't get squished, and I can sit on the tub and it's waterproof, and I mean there's just so many reasons that it's more practical. Other than can you tote it, you know? What is the best fishing trip I have ever had? That is the one I am on at the moment. Whichever fishing trip I'm on right then is the best one yet. But now, really and truly, it's hard for me to look back and say this was the best fishing trip I ever had, because it really ain't about the fish that was caught. You know, I fished with my dad. Those are special times. I still get to fish with him occasionally. My grandpa took me fishing one time. I was staying with Mama down there, and Grandpa come by and he said, "You want to go fishing?" I said, "Yes, sir." We went and got a cane pole and dug some worms, and we headed down to the creek and sat on a log in a little bend down there and caught brim. And Grandpa helped me, you know. I was a little fellow then. Stuff like that is what it's about more than fish caught. So, good night, folks. Going to bed. I ain't gonna be far behind you. I tell y'all what, let's do. I'm yawning. I'm gonna lay this down. Let's go over here and see about this meat we are smoking, and see if it's fit to eat. Grandma's Grandma's Narc. Grandma's. Okay. That got me tongue tied. I get saying break free or die trying. Yeah. All right. Let me I'm gonna raise y'all up. Oh, look at there. All right, now moth. He's over here done got all up in my grill here. All right, y'all. Woo! We done burned that charcoal that we homemade up. Man, I didn't put no lot of it in there. Y'all see that puff of smoke come out? Look at there. Look at that. Oh, smoke signals. All right, we gotta quit being funny. Oh, I ain't got but one glove out here, y'all, and that ain't real smart, is it? And I left that laying there to where it's. Oh, y'all. Oh. Come up here a little closer. Hey, easy now, killer. Look off down in there. Haven't heard any Jerry Clower stories lately. Jerry Clower tells them better than I do. Oh, I ain't really thought of no. I told all of them I knew. I think's what happened. I'll think of one take off on it here before it's all said and done. Well, sir, I got bugs flying into me from every direction. Look how that's just falling apart. I mean, this knife's sharp, but look at that. And that fat piece off right there is gonna be yeah, it's done. We're gonna have to get that out of there. Y'all, that right there gonna wind up cutting y'all's video right here short, cause I'm gonna be in there wanting to. Hey, I played it smart this time. We cooked and got it done late. That way I ain't gotta cook it the first of the show and then leave it sitting in yonder and go in there and eat it cold after I get off the thing at 10 o'clock. See how I rigged this up? This is done now and it's still hot. And it's near about 10 o'clock. So I gotta figure out how to get it off of him. I'm gonna back y'all up out of the way where y'all don't get burnt. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, you got an old barefooted boy out here fixing to tote something hot there across there. I didn't want to trip over y'all's toes. Anyway, so here's how we're gonna try to see if it, look, we being mighty careless to be barefooted, ain't we? All right, now I'm gonna put the lid back on there. That way all my heat don't leave. Alright. There really ain't no charcoal to save, but y'all, if I take that, shut that lid off, and put that, you can't even see, can you? And take it, this right here is a paint can, look, see that? It just fits over that pipe, and I'm gonna put me a bigger pipe eventually. And then I'll shut this door up real good. It'll smother that out, and that charcoal will go out, and I can relight it next time. Don't burn so much up. That way I don't waste no, and I'm gonna build me something out of some screen where I can rake down through there out of that 1/2-inch mesh and pull the coals out and the dust to go, and I rake that ashes off down in the firebox, and I clean them out over there and put them in my bucket down there. I got a metal bucket that sits right there. I keep that, and then I go dump all that. I throw eggshells and stuff in it when I'm cracking eggs. I go dump that in the compost down there occasionally. But now them ashes you can pour in your bucking for you dehair your hide. Well, I'm gonna carry this. I don't know what I'm gonna. I'll tell you what I really want. I want a bite of it's what I'm gonna want. Let me. If you work real fast, you can get that off without. Let's see. I got a big old knife right here. I don't need it right now. I need a. I was looking for a fork, but that right there, I didn't clean that up good last time I was using it. I got a bunch of stuff that Charlie Pickerel gave me, and Tony Parker made this one. It is a little bit smaller. I'm fixing to samples what I'm fixing to do. There ain't no need of me starved to death. I got food. Y'all won't be hungry if you want to. I know probably 90% of y'all sitting there eating a bowl of ice cream. I've been over there starving to death. Usually I done ate and made y'all hungry. That right there thing ain't gonna work. I knew that was hot. Oh, and after you roll it in that Dale's down in the bottom of there, oh man, it'll make your tongue come out and just wrap slam around your head. My Lord. That right there, a vegan that eat that and like it. Oh. Somebody will jump in there and say, oh, in Leviticus it says don't eat pork. You can't eat that. Oh, but the Lord said, rise, kill, and eat people. So I rose up out of that chair over there, and I come over here to this grill, and I rise, grill, and eat. Come on. Yeah. I just come up with that by myself, but that's pretty good, if I may say so myself. Oh, that's that heart attack bite right there. And the reason it's that heart attack bite is that's a lot of fat right there on that piece. I probably don't need to be a digging in it, but I'm going to eat the majority of it anyway. We gotta go put that up. If I keep standing here digging in that, I won't be worth knocking in the head. You gotta wipe that knife off on your blue jeans. I'm gonna go put this stuff in the house. I'll be back. Y'all don't go nowhere yet. Alright, well, we got just a little dab of coffee left. We might as well drink it. And we ain't gonna be no too god awful long, y'all, for we had to quit. Oh, we done been at this, what it says, for 167 minutes. What time is it? 9:45. We're gonna shut down about 10 o'clock. So that gives about 15 minutes. Tristan retracted all of his messages. Oh, what have I missed? Mike went to bed. Pulled pork sandwiches with barbecue slaw. I was raised in North Carolina. Apparently nobody in Virginia knows about barbecue slaw, red slaw. Mary, I don't know nothing about red slaw, and I know what a slaw burger is, and that's white slaw with mayonnaise. You gonna have to email me a recipe for barbecue slaw. I don't know nothing about it. Never even heard of it. Makes great potash soap. He's talking about them ashes, yeah. Yep. Ooh-wee. Lunchtime in South Australia. Suzanne, do you watch a guy down that way called Rocket Kit? He does some saltwater fishing. I watch him. He's probably the only person I watch on a regular basis from Australia. Oh, I just wondered if you had heard of him. John Thomas, how was church? Independent said he's on a carnivore diet now. I stay on a carnivore diet. I know y'all have heard about that seafood. I got something on my pants right there. I know y'all have heard about that seafood diet, haven't you? If you see food, you eat it. Yeah, that's the one I'm on. Oh, my wife looked down at me. She said, "You getting a gut on you?" I said, "Yeah." They said a bowl of ice cream doing that. Now, I tell you what it is. She done took up bacon, y'all. And I said, where's these rolls been all my life? She come up with some of them. Usually the rolls she make be some old hard stuff. But now, I tell you what, she done got to getting up in the morning with her coffee and watching Brenda Gant. And I'll be honest with y'all, she said she wanted one of Brenda Gant's new cookbooks. Well, I told her just to order it. I'll pay for it. She looked up and said the other two was going on sale, so she's got an order for all three of them when they come off the press. That Brenda Gant knows how to cook. Now, I done seen some of her cooking on TV, too. Y'all don't even know who Brenda Gant is, do you? It's, Suzanne, it's Rocket Kit. K-I-T, I think, now. But anyway, she's been making some. Well, I see my daughter up. She's been making some cinnamon rolls and selling them, baking. She's got 2 or 3 loaves of bread in there baked, and I have made some sandwiches out of them. And I cleaned out a jar of pickled banana peppers, and I mean, I had me one of them Dagwood Bumstead sandwiches the other day. Y'all know about Dagwood Bumstead? Ed Smith said he knew who Brenda Gant was. That woman would get on there and go live at 4:30 in the morning, and there'll be thousands of folks watching her. I mean, really? Yeah. I get 100 to watch me on Friday night, and that's about it. If I got up and went live at 4:30 in the morning, they might be 3 or 4 of y'all tune in. Oh, Lord. Yeah, she makes good biscuits. She makes biscuits good as Jeremiah Johnson made. He said he made good biscuits. If you didn't believe him, just ask him. Them bugs get on my iPad and I don't like. Yeah. That's right. Dagwood Bumstead. He'd get in there in the middle of the night and go to making him a sandwich, y'all, and before he got through that sandwich, it'd be this tall. And his mouth would stretch that far open and he'd bite into it. I think they exaggerated a little bit there. You know, it's about like Beetle Bailey being able to see where he is going. He didn't even have no eyes. Brenda just like watching Grandma. There you go, yeah. Yep. There you go, Jefferson. Suzanne would tune in. I don't know. She might be done went to bed by then. You can't ever tell. We done found out I got a lot of Brenda Gant's fans in here, haven't we? I hadn't got into watching her myself, but Michelle loves to watch her. We are. But now, a lot of the stuff we watch, I've got to where I watch very little stuff on my phone. Just as fast as you can find one, Gable. But anyway, I was finna say something, my train of thought completely derailed. It'll come back to me in a little while. Oh, I know what I was saying. I got where I don't watch a whole lot of stuff on my phone anyway. Usually I'm listening to a book if I'm doing much of anything. But we'll put stuff on the TV in yonder when we get to bed. We got that TV mounted on the wall, so usually I went in there a while ago and she had Townsend's on. I was like, when did you start watching Townsend? She said, I ain't. What's that? I guess it just come on after whatever she wants. But she usually finds some of the Homestead channels that she likes and watches them. And a lot of Celebrating Appalachia, we'll watch their stuff in there. So you can't comment on it. And that's why I realize there's a lot of folks that watch this and they watch it on TV and they don't never comment. So I understand. I didn't understand. I used to watch everything on my phone, but I don't know. I got to where I just got away from it. Larry, we're not going to be far behind you. We got about 2 or 3 more minutes, and then I'm going to close this out because I got a Boston butt in there that I'm going to see to. Me and it's got an appointment. Lunchtime here in Guam. Digging water lines got the best of you. There you go. That water line, I need to run some more water lines here. Heather said I'm watching on TV, but here's my comment. I had somebody sent me another picture of a dog. Watch me. A fellow got a dog named Rebel that watches. So I got a dog named Gideon that watches. Is Gideon watching tonight? And Rebel, are you watching? It tickles me, y'all, for people to send me pictures of their dogs just tuned in. I don't know if they like to watch Roscoe or what. Between 7 and 10 on Friday night, somebody somewhere is guaranteed to need an ambulance. What'd they do, eat poke salad tonight for supper? Or they have one of them scuffles in the kitchen and one of them got hit with a frying pan and needed to see a paramedic right quick. Ice cream sandwich, you got it figured out. Oh, I know what that racket I'm hearing is. That speaker over yonder's on. I kept hearing something. A good brisket recipe. I'm going to tell you what I did with the brisket. I cooked one, it turned out good. It's not as much as recipe as method of cooking. Now, I have not cooked one of them big giant ones. I cooked a small one. But I put it on that grill and I wrapped it up. I left it open for about an hour. I done figured out it. Leave whatever you cooking open for about an hour and then wrap it up good where the moisture stays in it and you get that smoke ring and then just cook. But I as far as flavor and seasoning, a lot of that is personal preference because a lot of people like different flavors. So I put this rub that I make at Eat 'em Raw on it. But now we got several good picking and grilling here make some really good rubs. And some people on here have ordered from them and they'll ship it to you. They make really good seasonings and you can put that on there and rub it down. And I go heavy with seasoning on brisket. Palmetto Gaming, I like an ice cream sandwich myself. Brody loves them. My mom and them buy them for him. The thing is you want to cook that thing about 250 to 300 degrees for 6 or 8 hours, but leave it unwrapped for a little while and cook it, and then wrap it up and cook it slow. Keep a check on it. You don't want to let it get dried out, but let it get it smoky and meat. I've seen a lot of people that said wrap it up and cook it a while and then open it up. Well, if you open it up after it's done got good and hot, it's going to dry out. Or it seems to me, because it ain't. If you let it smoke and get caramelized to begin with, that'll help lock a lot of moisture inside that meat instead of it just being sitting in a puddle of juice. That's my opinion on it. But go watch some of them professional guys. They know how to cook them. Well, y'all, I have enjoyed it all. Jeffrey, I have connected with people, and I've got a knife over there in Guam. Irene, her husband has got a knife over there I sent. I couldn't believe it. I made a knife that shipped all the way to Guam. So, but anyway, yeah, there's some good folks out there, and this is growing, getting bigger. At 10 o'clock, we still got 106 people watching. That's pretty good for me. So anyway, y'all, I am fixing to go in and eat. I've got to go gather up my TP out there before it gets due and gets all wet. I'm going to wad it up on this table over here, and then I'm going in there and eat and prop up my feet and being I'm eating this late, probably don't get no ice cream today. So Miss Mary, good night. All of you that have tuned in, Grandmas, Appalachian Explorers, Uncle Sasquatch, all of y'all, thank you for watching and hanging with me all night long. I know I keep you up late. Hopefully you enjoyed it. We had a good time. We've had some good conversation. And I appreciate all of you for tuning in. Remember, the best way to do things is the way you like to do it. We'll see y'all. Y'all have a good one.